Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Wednesday today. Oh gosh, I'm getting so mixed up with the days, but it is Wednesday today. And I'm here with a technique for you. Now, the technique today is actually an origami box. It's such an easy thing to make. If you were part of the stamp camp that we did earlier this year, I think actually it was in July. A message for somebody to call me back, and I knew they were going to call me back as soon as I started this. It never fails. Yes, great. So we did a stamp camp using Fresh as a Daisy, and I made one of these boxes out of a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper. But I thought what I would do is show you how to make a small one, because it's kind of a perfect little size out of a 6 by 6 piece of paper that you can use for treats. So put some little chocolates in it, and you're away to the races. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop and I'll show you how easy this is. There's not even any glue in this little box. You can use if you want to, you can use your trimmer. I don't use a trimmer. I actually just make sure I have my bone folder handy. In the background, Cynthia's gonna wave. So Cynthia is helping me cut for my upcoming retreat, as well as my monthly club and Stamp-A-Stack and card class. So Cynthia's busy working in the background. We appreciate that. All right, I'm going to switch over. Hey, Betty, welcome. Nope, you're right on time. All right, I'm going to use this Joy of I'll give you a few things. I'm going to use the Joy of Noel for the sentiment. There's actually a to and from sentiment. I thought that would be kind of cute. And the little holly leaves. I'm also going to use, this is the Snowflake Topper Punch that is part of the Sparkling Snowflakes suite or bundle. So I'm going to use that for the top of my tag that's going to go on my box. And I'm using, this is one piece. This is just either top or bottom. I'm using paper from the Joy of Christmas or Joy of Noel. I think it's Joy of Christmas suite. The Joy of Noel stamp set is one of the 2 stamp sets in that one. This is just really pretty. It is the 2-sided, so you could use either the shaded spruce, so you kind of get that pop of color. So I've got 2 pieces. I've got a piece of real red cardstock and I've got a piece of designer series paper. So you want to make the top or bottom. So you need one piece that is 1/2 an inch bigger than the other. So I cut what is going to be my top 6 by 6, and what's going to be my bottom will just be a little bit smaller. So it's 5.5 by 5.5. So let's start with the top. Again, as I said, I don't use my trimmer. I just use my bone folder to fold. This is origami folding. So you need a bone folder for sure. And if I use my trimmer, sometimes if you're using your trimmer on designer series paper, you can actually cut through it because designer series paper is a little bit, well, a little more delicate than cardstock. Okay, so here's what you do. I learned this on the incentive cruise. They do origami on the cruise every day, and so I went to one, only got to one, but the people beside me actually showed me how to make this because they'd been to every one. So you want to fold your piece of designer series paper or cardstock in half on the diagonal. Give it a good burnish with your bone folder. This is Joy of Christmas designer series paper, and Betty, yes, this is so pretty, this paper. Okay, so we folded it on the diagonal. Well, we're going to turn it, open it up, and fold it on the diagonal the other way. And if you miss this, I'm going to do it a second time with the real red, so don't panic. Okay, give it a good burnish. Okay, opened it up. Now we're going to take these points and we're going to fold them in on that line. So you can just take that point and fold it up to the middle and on the score line in the middle. Okay, and we'll turn it that way. We're going to do this on all 4 points. I love the fact that you don't even have to have glue. Okay, so I've turned it again. So I'm just carrying on around and then that way. Okay, so now we're going to put all of our points inwards. So we've got all of our points folded. Now we're going to take the sides and we're going to fold up to the middle. This is where it gets a little thick. Up to the middle and use your bone folder. And then fold up to the middle. And again, your bone folder. So you're going to do this on all 4 sides. So you're just kind of going to do it one way and then the other way. You can be a little kind of pressing quite hard on your, especially now when it's through about 2 or 3 thicknesses of designer series paper. Okay, that's everything. This is my favorite piece of the designer series paper. Okay, now we're going to take and we're going to open it up. So we've got a whole bunch of folds. We're going to fold in the 2 points and then we're going to take and fold up the sides of our box. So we've now got our sides. Take your 2 index fingers and press inwards. You've got a score line already on a diagonal score line. So you've got the sides pressed up and it will start to already fold. So take and press in using your index fingers and bring these 2 upwards and fold it. So now we've got one side and the same index fingers, press in on those diagonal score lines, bring it up and fold it down. And you can kind of finger press as you need to. So that is our top or bottom, but in this case it will be the top because it's slightly bigger. Isn't that easy? Okay, if I lost you, let's do this again. This is a piece of real red, and again, this is 1/2 inch smaller so that it will fit inside of this without a problem. So we're going to take and fold this on the diagonal like that. Bone folder. You can be a little bit more aggressive with your bone folding on this one and burnishing. Okay, so open it up and fold on the diagonal in the opposite direction. Okay, open it up. So I've now got my diagonal and we're going to fold our points inwards to the center. So it's easy to do because you can fold and make sure the line on this one matches up with the line in the middle and then only go to the middle score line. So you don't have to kind of guess where you're folding into because you've got that fold on the what we did on the diagonal. All right, so we've got our 4 points folded in like that. Now it's a little harder to see, so we're going to fold these in like that, right? Now this is going to get thick because we now have cardstock, which is thicker. So we're going to fold in on the sides, trying to keep the point where it's supposed to be. So I'm just kind of pressing inwards like that. When we did this on the ship, it was a thinner paper, so cardstock's a little harder to work with. Hey, Gian, welcome. All right, so we've done those 2 sides. Now open it up and we'll do the other 2 sides, folding it in to the middle. There are lots of, so you'll have this video to go back to for sure. But if you Google origami folds, there are lots of different kinds of, you know, I even found a rectangular box. But there's all sorts of different origami folding that you can do. All right, got everything. Okay, so we're going to open this up. We're going to open up 2 of our points, have the points facing top and bottom, fold upwards on the sides, use our index finger to press in, and voila. That box just kind of wants to kind of fold on each other. Now, when it gets thick like this, you have to do a little bit of kind of manipulating. Again, fold in, tuck it, press inwards on that score line. Come on, where's my score line? There it is there. and fold in. Again, I've made this, when I did it in the stamp camp, I actually used 2 pieces of designer series paper. I think that actually works better. This cardstock is quite thick, so I'm just kind of pressing it inwards, but it works. Now, you don't need, I'm just going to take and use your bone folder. You don't actually, in theory, need any glue. If you want to, you could cut a little square of cardstock, like, so the bottom of this is 2 by 2. So if you cut a little square of cardstock that was 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 or 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 and put it in the bottom, you absolutely wouldn't need a any adhesive. Because mine is poking up a little bit, I'm just going to take a glue dot and stick my points down on it. But in theory, I think it's because I've used the cardstock. If it was designer series paper, it probably wouldn't need any. All right, top, bottom. Again, this is really thick. And so because it's 1/2 inch smaller, it fits quite nicely inside. And you have a little box. And if you don't want it to close, you can see the real red, just pull it out a little bit. So it would fit some of those Ferrero Rochers. It would fit some of the Lindt chocolates, some Hershey nuggets. You could decorate some. So a cute little gift. If you've got jewelry to give somebody, this would be perfect. But let's not stop there, because let's put a tag on it. So again, this is the Snowflake topper punch. I cut, so what you want to do is cut a piece that is just under 2 inches. So this is too long, I know that, but I have a piece. So I've cut it just under 2 inches, and when you punch it out, you get this cute little tag. So I am going to trim this, because it certainly doesn't need to be this long for my little box. So I'm going to make this 2.5 inches roughly. So I say if you cut it 1 7/8 by 2.5, you will get a piece like this, and then you can kind of just put it over top, on top like that. But of course I'm going to do some stamping. So I've got my real red, and there is a little tiny to from that I'm just going to take and stamp on there in real red. And I've got some shaded spruce, and I'm going to do the little holly leaves. So these are from the Joy, what did I say this was called? Joy of Noel stamp set. Okay, let's bring my real red back in. There are these kind of berries that I'm going to put on like that. All right, a little bit of a tag. Easy peasy. Now I'm going to take maybe Wink of Stella. If you use it, the ink, Wink of Stella seems to move the ink around. And so if you take this and do it while that ink is still a little bit damp, you can do it actually for a while. I'm just kind of coloring over the berries and going close to the red. You will actually, your berries will be kind of pinky in color, because whatever the solvent is in the Wink of Stella seems to move some ink around. So it kind of matches. I wish it was a little bit smaller, but I like the snowflake. The other thing I grabbed is these textural elements were in one of the catalogs a little while ago, and they're still available. They're as an online exclusive, so they're wooden. So maybe we'll, because I like to kind of put put some texture behind things. So let's put one of those in behind. So yeah, so if you don't, these aren't in the catalog, but they still are available in the online exclusives in my online store. Maybe you still got some. Okay, so we'll put like that. And then I have a piece of this is the sheer, the white and silver sheer ribbon. Yeah, there's pretty small, isn't it? All right, I'm going to put this in behind. I'm not going to actually put it as a tag. I'm just going to adhere it to the back of my tag like that. So we'll just that and move it around. I'll trim this because I've got Siri on my other computer asking me what I want to do. All right, and then let's use some dimensionals to pop this up and hold our ribbon in place. This ribbon is amazing. You can color it with your blends. It looks really pretty, but I'm going to use the white. All right, do I want it? No, I'm going to put it sideways just because you can see more of the decorations. Pull this out a little bit. If you fill it, then it won't close so much. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to put on here are these are the adhesive backed glitter sequins. They're part of the berry cute. Somewhere I've lost the white ones that are small. All I've got are the white ones that are colored. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my real red. This is just my Stampin' Write marker, and I'm just going to color these. You could use your blends. If you're going to use your blends or even your regular marker, just be very gentle as you're coloring, so you don't kind of damage the brush. But I'm just going to take and color those with real red. Let's come back here. There we go. I could have put green on too, but there we go. A little bit more decoration because, you know, there we go. There is a little box that you can fill with chocolate or candies or jewelry or whatever it is that you want to do. And no Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, no adhesive other than my little glue dots on the tag. Just a really cute little box. And like I said, you can make them any size you want. This was out of 6 by 6 for the top, and then 1/2 inch smaller. So whatever size you make your top, you make your bottom 1/2 inch smaller. So when I did the ones on the Stamp Camp, I used 12 by 12. And so then it was 11.5 by 11.5. So whatever you want to make the size, you can adjust it. It's such a great little box. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that. I can't wait to see what you guys create because there's so many pretty designer series paper that you can use to make these little boxes. So I can see people going crazy with them. I will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific for I have a color challenge for you. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow for the color challenge. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.